When the Federal High Court granted Nnamdi Kanu bail in April 2017 on health grounds, jubilation swept through the southeast. Streets in Umuahia and beyond came alive with cheers, flags, and songs of freedom. Supporters danced, hailing it as a victory for justice and a new dawn for the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. At that time, Kanu had spent over 18 months in custody, facing charges of treasonable felony, illegal possession of arms, and incitement against the Nigerian state, all stemming from his call for Biafra's secession. But barely 5 months later, events took a dark turn. In September 2017, the Nigerian military launched Operation Python Dance 2, a counter-insurgency campaign targeting separatist strongholds in the southeast. Troops surrounded Kanu's family compound in Afarauku, Umuahia. What followed, eyewitnesses say, was chaos, gunfire, smoke, panic, and blood. By the time the dust settled, Nnamdi Kanu had vanished. The government's position was clear. Kanu had fled the country, breaching his bail conditions. But local witnesses, including members of his family, claimed the military stormed his home and attempted to assassinate him. Human rights groups such as Amnesty International later reported that the army used excessive force, with several civilians killed during the raid. For nearly 2 years, Kanu's whereabouts remained unknown, until October 2018, when he suddenly appeared in Israel, live-streaming messages of defiance and renewed calls for Biafran independence. His reappearance reignited the movement and embarrassed Nigerian authorities. So now, years later, the question remains, what truly happened in Afarauku that night, and what secret is still keeping Nnamdi Kanu behind bars today?
Well, let me tell you, I've always been consistent on Nnamdi Kanu's flight. There was no need for the arrest in the first place.
June 2021, a day that shocked millions. Out of nowhere, the news broke. Nnamdi Kanu had been rearrested. But where? How? By who? The Nigerian government claimed he was captured through collaboration with international partners. But almost immediately, cracks began to appear in that story. Human rights lawyers and media investigations revealed that Kanu was abducted in Kenya, detained incommunicado for days, and illegally flown to Nigeria in what international law defines as extraordinary rendition. The Kenyan government denied involvement. Interpol distanced itself. And soon, the United Nations Human Rights Council declared the arrest and transfer a violation of international law, urging Nigeria to release him unconditionally. Yet, despite global condemnation, the Nigerian government stood firm. No release, no fair trial, no explanation. So, if the method of his return was unlawful, what deeper truth is still keeping Nnamdi Kanu behind bars? To understand this, we must step back from the courtroom and look at the politics. Nnamdi Kanu is not just one man. He represents a wound, a historical question Nigeria has never truly healed: Biafra. The fear isn't only about what Kanu says, it's about what his release could awaken. Memories of the civil war, questions of regional marginalization, calls for restructuring, even secession. For the state, releasing him could open the floodgates of separatist agitation. For his followers, keeping him locked up only fuels the fire. It's a paradox the government cannot solve. Free him and risk unrest. Keep him and become the oppressor in history's eyes. But there's another side, less talked about. Sources close to the legal teams have hinted that there are powerful interests who believe that Kanu's release would weaken their political control over the southeast. Every court ruling in his favor seems to trigger a higher appeal. Every legal window is quietly shut. Analysts believe that beyond the judiciary, there's a strategic silence from key figures who benefit from the chaos, politically, economically, and electorally. Because as long as Kanu remains detained, the Southeast remains fragmented and distracted. Visuals: silhouettes of political figures in Abuja, hidden documents sliding across a table, fading into scenes of protests and soldiers. Could that be the hidden truth they don't want Nigerians to know? Behind the official press releases and legal jargon lies a deeper truth. Nnamdi Kanu's detention is far more than a legal matter. It's a political calculation wrapped in national interest. His freedom could reshape Nigeria's fragile unity, reopen the long-suppressed Biafra debate, and potentially alter the 2027 political landscape. Government insiders and analysts have long suggested that releasing him could embolden separatist sentiments in the Southeast and disrupt the country's delicate balance of power. Yet, even from detention, Kanu's influence remains potent. His words still spark conversations, movements, and loyalty across millions. By labeling his case as a national security issue, the state has effectively silenced a man whose voice threatens the status quo. But time has shown that silencing ideas rarely kills them, it often strengthens them. So the real question remains, how long can a nation suppress a voice that refuses to fail?
Very corrupt. That is a breach of judicial oath. They have violated the judicial oath. They have shown bias according to Supreme Court. They are biased against me. Supreme Court said so. And that is why what is happening in the judgments and rulings concerning me has been happening. So, disobedience to superior court orders. Supreme Court said you are biased. You are against this man. You should not have revoked his bail. Nigeria went to Kenya and kidnapped him.
Across the Southeast, Nnamdi Kanu's name is still whispered like a prayer. From Aba to Enugu, from London to Houston, the diaspora still chants, "Free Nnamdi Kanu." Even critics admit his defiance reshaped Nigeria's national discourse. He forced the nation to confront the ghosts of Biafra, injustice, inequality, and the question of belonging. But what is the hidden truth keeping him behind bars? Perhaps it's not one secret, but many. Fear, politics, power, and the unhealed scars of 1967. Until Nigeria faces those truths, Kanu's cell remains locked, not by steel, but by silence. Truth is a threat only to those who live on lies. This is BlackishGold Media. If you believe in fearless African storytelling, subscribe, share, and keep the conversation alive.